to you. Of course, President Jacob Zuma has arrived here. He has arrived to cheers of people who have been waiting for him since as early as 10 a.m. Of course, we do know that the president is expected to be the keynote address speaker this afternoon. He will be touching base on issues that face the women of South Africa. Of course, the importance of this day is clear to many, as it is the day where 20,000 women marched to the Union building across the country, basically saying that they are tired of the oppressive past laws. And we do know that, amongst other things, the president will touch base on the job that has been done right now by the government. And we did hear earlier on from Minister Bathabile Dlamini, basically also speaking about their stride since the implementation of the Ministry of Women. And she has, of course, alluded that they will be doing more, and this is not the end, of course. But I will right now just cross to Iviwe, who is our reporter.
Thank you, Neria, so much. As you can see, everyone inside here is giving the president a definite warm welcome, a lot of them singing, a lot of them joyful. You'll remember that, 61 years ago, the women that were outside the union buildings were there in their traditional attires, as well as the ANC Women's League uniform, as we see inside here today. You can obviously understand that the celebrations, the mood inside here is of high. Everyone is very excited actually to see the president. Right now, I think to kickstart the program, we're going to hear from the minister representing women, Umama Susan Shabang. We've also seen Minister of Arts and Culture, Unatintek. The program is about to start now, and people are still cheering on as they start the program, which was supposed to start a bit earlier. They're running a bit late, but definitely, the people of the Northern Cape are feeling very joyous in terms of today's celebrations. Earlier on, while we were in the tent, they were also, showing, or while throwing their weight behind Umama Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, saying that they're also ready for her. So it seems that South Africa is also ready to see a female president come through. But I think for now, let's just wait around and see what the program has for us and how it will continue. And also, well, mainly the keynote address coming from President Utata Jacob Zuma.
Can we all stand up? Can we all stand up? And I will request men to take off their hats. Order! Order! Please, order! I'm going to request all of us, because we are going to sing first the African Union anthem, then we will do our national anthem. And we'll ask our police band on my right, what's happening there? Why are you making noise? Can you please behave? Hayi bomsindo wani la kwenzakalani? Okay, I'll ask our police band for all of us to be attentive when we sing the national anthem and the African Union anthem. Over to our police band. Today, this afternoon, we are celebrating the struggles of women of 1956. I'm going to be the program director together with Minister Mthethwa from Arts and Culture. Without any waste of time, I want to acknowledge all of you, but firstly, acknowledge our President J.G. Zuma, acknowledge our Premier of the province, the Premier of Eastern Cape, Premier Maswale, acknowledge our former AU chairperson, Dr. Nkosazana Zuma, who's with us today. Acknowledge MEC who are with us to celebrate this exciting day, part of the success of the women of 1956. We are here today gathered because of their struggles. Take this opportunity to acknowledge members of the diplomatic corps, members of parliament who are with us, Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP, Honorable Tau, but also who's one of yourselves here in Northern Cape. MEC is present today. Our clergy, our Premier of the Free State, our political parties who are with us today, members of the community, our women from various organizations from all over South Africa, the Free State, Northern Cape, Northwest. I acknowledge all of you. As you all know, we say in government, all protocol observed. I know that you've been here since this morning, President. I'm not going to waste any further time. I'm going to call the Premier to come and welcome us. Thank you very much.
Balibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi. Wathinta abafasi. Wathinta abafasi. Sakufa. Viva Jacob Zuma, viva! Viva Jacob Zuma, viva! Amandla! Amandla! Thank you very much, program directors. Hey, what is here, Mazan? Bombe, 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 fella! Bombe! President! Ja, man! Jy worry Afrikaansie. Ons is hier om hulle te wees. Jy is ons se president. Republic of South Africa, the Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP, Rasriti Papitau, the Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers, Premiers, my brother, Maes Mahashule and Kumile Maswale, the Honorable Mayors, Executive Mayors and Councillors, our former AU Commission Chairperson, Comrade Clarice Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, leaders of women formations present here, leaders of business, esteemed guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, Omme, goeiemiddag, good afternoon, Timelang, Bolweni, Absheni, I'm standing here, I'm feeling so proud. It is really with a great sense of pride that I stand here today in the company of esteemed, tried and tested leaders of the African National Congress-led government on a day that we want to pay tribute to the foundation and the pillars of our communities. These pillars and foundations are our mothers, our sisters and our daughters. I am really honored and humbled to have the privilege to welcome each and everyone gathered here today, and especially to welcome in our midst the Honorable President of the Republic of South Africa on the 9th of August 2017, after the 8th of August 2017. Let me also welcome, it is the 9th of August, a day after the 8th of August 2017. So let me also welcome the delegation here to our beautiful province, the Northern Cape. Let me welcome you to this province, a province that is rich in history, that is rich in culture, heritage and tradition, as we mark the 61st anniversary of the 1956 Women's March to the Union Buildings under the theme, the year of our Tambo, Women United in Moving South Africa Forward. It is befitting that the Women's Day celebrations will pay tribute to women and their role in the liberation struggle during a year that coincides with the centenary of our struggle icon, our Tambo, who himself was a strong advocate for gender equality. We are especially proud to welcome you to a district named after one of the women who joined the 20,000 strong of women on that historical day, namely Ma Frances Baard. Ma Frances Baard was a unionist, she was a struggle icon, she was a leader, she was a mother. She was born right here in Kimberley. She was one of the 8 chosen amongst her peers to deliver petitions signed by people across the country against the past laws whose objective was policing people's movement in our different areas. As we gather on this day, I want to express our appreciation and our gratitude to all of you who made your way here to celebrate this beautiful and inspirational people that this month is dedicated to. The women in our lives and the women in our communities. We can stand strong as women who were shaped by the strength and the grace of all the women that went before us. These great women, like Ma Frances Baard, who saw her own and others exploited by an unjust apartheid system, as a call to stand up and fight for the right cause. They rose above their gender and played an important role as members of the African National Congress Women's League and a society that would forever change the politics of this country. We salute them. We salute that women. The Northern Cape Province is celebrating and embracing Women's Month with an array of activities and events stretching across our province. We will be having dialogues, we will be having programs specifically structured and around girl and women development and empowerment. With the National Department of Women, we will be rolling out dialogues on violence against women to help combat the continued scourge of violence, attacks and abuse against women. These dialogues will serve as a platform for deepening democracy whilst ensuring safer and crime-free communities, especially for our women and children. I am encouraging you to join us during this month as we join with civil society in not only celebrating the success of women emancipation, but also to recommit ourselves to the promotion of gender equality as a means of combating poverty and stimulating development. Let us allow the spirit of unity and unwavering resolve of the women of 1956 to guide us when we wage our new struggle against gender-based violence, as well as the economic emancipation of all women in our society. Let me conclude by wishing all of you a very good day in the company of the friendly people of the Northern Cape. I wish that all the women during this month appreciate the advances made towards the emancipation of women's rights and will strive to keep alive the memory and sacrifices of those who endured hardships beyond comprehension to ensure equality and quality of life and womanhood. Let us put women at the center of the development of our province and our country in order to move not only the Northern Cape, but also South Africa forward. You are all welcome. Nam Kelikile. Welcome to all of you. Enjoy the day beyond your own comprehension. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Premier. Thanks for those kind words. We are all welcome. Premier uthi hayi basibophile izinja singakhululeka manje. Thank you very much, Premier. The Premier indicated we not only commemorating the women of 1956, but this is the 100 years of our leader, O.R. Tambo, whom we are also celebrating because he believed in deepening democracy and unity in our society. But also Tambo reminded us that the mobilization of women is the task not only of women alone, or often men alone, but of all of us, men and women alike. Comrades in the struggle, the mobilization of the people into active resistance and struggle for liberation demands. I'm saying this because as we are here today, we also continue to face various struggles which are faced by women, economic empowerment of women, social challenges, social justice for women and children in our society, but also in terms of our constitution, the right to equality, which is enshrined in our constitution. We are here today to celebrate that, but to commit ourselves to make it better in creating a South Africa which is non-racial, non-sexist, prosperous, and democratic. Without any waste of time, I'm going to call one of our own Minister of Social Development, Minister Bathabile Dlamini, Arisfeli Fuko.
Malibongwe, Kamala Makwasikazi, Wathinta Abafazi, Wathinta Imbokodo. Long live Francis Bart, long live. Long live Charlotte Matlege, long live. Long live Midas Perepere, long live. Amanda, 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 Amanda. Mr. President, our program directors, the Minister in the Presidency, Minister of Women, Minister Mtetwa, our Premier, and our District Mayor, Makimba. I would also like to recognize my colleagues that are here, ministers, MECs, councillors. Mr. President, the National Executive Committee of the Women's League is here. Mr. President, today we feel very relevant, and we feel that this is a befitting event, and after you have been tortured and persecuted. Mr. President, you've been persecuted not because you are President Jacob Zuma, but because you are the president of the ANC. The enemy started with its tricks long ago, and they cannot hold themselves. They are not patient. They will prefer a coup rather than the elections, because they know they will never defeat us in the elections. Mr. President, we agreed in our NEC that we have to come here in our numbers to pledge our support as the Women's League to you. Mr. President, we hold you with respect and high regard because you have earned leadership. You waited up until your turn came. You never pushed anyone. Actually, people were afraid before you even came. And the question we have always asked ourselves is, what are these people afraid of? Mr. President, we are very proud because we have a people's president, a humble president. You never want to pay revenge. And most of the time, some of us get very angry if you laugh and share jokes with those that do not want you as a person. Mr. President, you were not built by newspapers. You were not built by the media. You were not built by the elite. You were not built by the bourgeoisie. You come from the toiling rural masses of Nkandla. Mr. President, you come from the Robben Island, and that has shaped your future. It has also shaped the future of this country. We pride ourselves with the teachings of Umama Umamzobe, your mother, who gave birth to a very resilient person, and I think all of us must take you from the president. Mr. President, we don't just support you because you are the president. But since you became the president, we have the Women's Ministry. We have the Ministry for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. You have ensured that women are more in decision-making structures of government. But also, you have listened equally to each and every one of us. You've not undermined us or judged us. And therefore, we take courage from you. There are a few things, Mr. President, that we think have to be taken up. The issues of violence against women and children. As the Women's League, we decided that when there is such, we are going to support the victim. But also, we want to make a call to all women in other political organizations, because they don't deal with harassment in their organizations. They want to push us at all times. We want to say that this is an issue that brings us all together as women. And Mr. President, we are very sorry, but leaders of the ANC must come out clean. Leaders who want to lead us must show their track record when it comes to women. Because if we don't prioritize this issue, people are going to learn from our leadership about the abuse of women. So each and every member of the ANC that wants to stand for a position must know your track record. No one must harass women at the workplace, in the mines, at church, family, media, and everywhere. Actually, sexual harassment must be scrapped, must be abolished in South Africa. Our society must begin to respect our children. Our children are flowers, and you look carefully after your flower. And men that do not want to associate themselves with abuse must stand up in their numbers. Mr. President, the sentence is too low. The minimum sentence is low. Parole, we don't understand why. Number 3, the law is expensive for women. That is why we always lose cases. Mr. President, the time has come for men in business, in politics, intellectuals, professionals, faith-based organizations, traditional leaders to come out clean and fight violence against women. because everyone has been good at saying, are women ready to lead? When women have always been part of the struggle. And actually, that is an insult. It is reactionary. We must never allow anyone to question our credentials and ask a question of readiness. We are ready. We have been ready. Women were in the trenches. They participated in mass mobilization. They participated in all 4 pillars of the struggle. And therefore, the question must go. Lastly, Mr. President, we are ready for the summit of women and men who are prepared to see the country fighting violence against women. And therefore, we have already started talking to women throughout the country because we want a lasting solution. We are part of radical economic transformation. We are part of those that are demanding the expropriation of land. Mr. President, children of miners, farm workers, and the unemployed, the poor, those from rural areas must be able to go to university. And education in those levels must be free. Mandla, Malibongwe, Kamala Makoskasi, Watinda Bafazi. Thank you.
Halala makhosikazi halala. Halala makhosikazi halala. Anive nibahle namhlanje. Siyanithanda makhosikazi siyanithanda. I'm going to ask my co-chair, Minister Mthethwa, to come and introduce the one and only yena yedwa nje, Minister Mthethwa.
Malibongwe. Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Wathinta abafazi. Anqedanga. Wathinta abafazi. Finish and clap. Thank you, my co-program director, the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Zuma, the Premier of Northern Cape, Premier Lucas, the Deputy Chair of the NCOP, and Tao, ministers here present, and deputy ministers, MECs, MPs and MPLs, members of the diplomatic corps, councillors, religious leaders, business leaders, traditional leaders, beautiful women of South Africa. Alala Mbogoto, alala. The flowers of the revolution. Thank you very much, my co-program director. I'm told there are also two colleagues, premiers, Premier of the Eastern Cape, Premier Maswale, Kwanini, yes, he's somewhere here. Oh, I see a hand there, a lady. Well, that's not Premier Maswale. Oh, yes. And Premier of Vrystaat. So you have introduced him yourselves. Let's first greet all the people of Northern Cape, North-Cape. Those who may not be with us from Western Cape, from Eastern Cape, we have Eastern Cape here with us. Those who are in Limpopo, in Mpumalanga, in Gauteng, people from Free State, people from KZN, people from Bukoni, Bupirima. It's a beautiful day in South Africa today, more than any other day, because it's a Women's Day. It's a Women's Day, and it's time for us to reflect where we come from. When people talk about the struggle for liberation in South Africa, one area we have not worked, we have not given justice to, is the role of women in the liberation struggle in South Africa. We celebrate the gallant heroes of 1956, but we also have to go back to 1913 in Jagersfontein, in Wynberg, and so on, and remember those heroines who led all of us in this country. Under Ma Khabashane, Ma Khosi, Ma Low, who, when the leadership of the ANC at the time was still hesitant to be radical, women were radical. They led masses of people into a very important pillar of the struggle, mass mobilization. They organized women, and after being jailed by our oppressors, they stood firm that they are not going to carry passes. When the Secretary General of the ANC at the time, the first Secretary General of the ANC, I've forgotten his name, Comrade Alvin, what was his name? Saul. What was his surname? Platke. When Saul Platke visited them and saw harsh conditions they were under in Free State, jailed there, together with the delegation of the ANC, they wept, because those women told them in no uncertain terms that yes, we are suffering here in jail under these harsh conditions, but you must be rest assured that when we are released here, we're going to continue where we left off, until passes are banned. So the role of women in the struggle for liberation still has to be told. It's a tale which needs to be heard by everybody else. The culmination of which was the march in 1956, where Prime Minister Straydon could not stand up when the boulder had arrived. Imbogodo isifikile. He had to run away. Happy Women's Day, happy. Long live the women of South Africa, long live. Long live the struggle of the women in South Africa, long live. Long live Marahima Musa, long live. Long live Sophie the Brain, long live. Long live Helen Joseph, long live. Long live Ma Lilian Ngoyi, long live. Long live yourselves, long live. It was my way to say to the President of the Republic of South Africa, this is his stage. We're waiting for him to talk to us. Mr. President,
Amandla awethu bathinta abafazi bathinta imbokodo igama lamakhosikazi alibongwe siyabonga riyalebuga bayadanki. Amandla awethu matla ya rona, all power riyalebuga bayadanki. Thank you very much, Bomama, Bomme, the Premier of the Northern Cape, the Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, the Minister of Arts and Culture, our two program directors, ministers who are present here, premiers who are present here, deputy ministers, MECs, MPs, MPLs, councillors and mayors, members of the diplomatic corps, veterans of our liberation struggle, fellow South Africans, we greet you all on this important occasion in the calendar of our history as a nation. We remember today the strength and determination of approximately 20,000 women who marched fearlessly to the Union buildings in Pretoria in 1956 against government's attempt to force women to carry passes as part of influx control, as well as undermining the dignity and deepening oppression of the women. Women from as far afield as Cape Town and Port Elizabeth traveled to Pretoria to make their mark in raising their voice against injustice in our country. We pay a special tribute to these selfless freedom fighters for their tenacity, selflessness, and foresight. On this day, we salute generations of women leaders. Charlotte Maxeke, Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa, Sophie Williams Dubrain, Lillian Diedrichs, Dorothy Nyembe, Albertina Sisulu, Ruth Mumpati, Bertha Kowa, Sister Bernard Ngube, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, and many others who were part of the struggle. We also pay tribute to thousands of other women whose names we do not even know, who suffered and fought for the freedom we enjoy today. These patriots are an embodiment of 105 years of a relentless forward march to total emancipation, land rights, equality, justice, and democracy. Their sacrifices remind us that our freedom did not come about because of the generosity of any person, but through blood, sweat, and tears. Unarmed and defenseless women challenged the might and brutality of successive oppressive regimes in order to ensure that future generations, who should live in a free South Africa. Last year, we unveiled statues of the women leaders of the 1956 march in Tshwane. I'm pleased to announce that government will also erect a statue honoring Mama Lillian Diedrichs, who is one of the surviving leaders of the 1956 march. On this occasion, we also pay tribute to Mama Victoria Sobukwe, the wife of the Pan-Africanist Congress leader Robert Sobukwe, who celebrated her 90th birthday a few days ago. Mama Sobukwe endured years of pain and suffering during her husband's years of struggle and detention by the apartheid regime, including after his eventual demise. Compatriots, we are marking National Women's Day under the theme, I quote, "The year of O.R. Tambo, Women United in Moving South Africa Forward," unquote. The event thus also celebrates the life of the former ANC president and one of the greatest sons and leaders of our country, President Oliver Reginald Tambo. He would have turned 100 years old this year had he lived. President Tambo was a leading proponent of women's emancipation within the liberation movement. He consistently articulated the position that the oppression of women is linked with racial and class oppression. He urged women to be their own liberators and participate actively in the struggle against national oppression and also gender equality. When we look back at the road traveled in the past 23 years, we are pleased with the progress that has been made at the level of socio-economic transformation. Women are the primary beneficiaries of government's programs aimed at fighting poverty. Basic services such as water, electricity, housing, roads, access to education and health have been extended to more communities each year since 1994, with women being key beneficiaries. Women experience change directly when these services are provided by government in their communities. We assure those who are still waiting that government will not rest until all communities have water, electricity, and other basic needs which improve the quality of life. On further progress, the majority of social grants beneficiaries are women and children. Extended social protection to fight poverty. As part of promoting racial socio-economic transformation, government will also continue to prioritize women's access to economic opportunities and, in particular, to business financing and credit for women-owned SMMEs and cooperatives. Through the Households Food and Nutrition Program run by the Department of Social Development, government supports women-owned cooperatives through buying vegetables and other foodstuffs from women. Over 300 million rand worth of foods, worth of goods such as school uniforms, nutrition, food and dignity, packs were procured from local cooperatives operated by women in communities in the past year. Such programs change the lives of women for the better in a direct way. We urge all spheres of government to open up opportunities to more cooperatives and women-owned companies as they provide much needed economic security for women. Progress has also been made in the workplace, especially in the public sector. Women are increasingly occupying positions of authority and great responsibility, and occupy careers that were previously an exclusive preserve of men. This year, amongst the country's achievements has been the appointment of the first female president of the Supreme Court of Appeal, Justice Mandisa Maya. While we celebrate the advancement of women in the public sector, there is a continued exclusion of the majority of the population, both women and Africans, from decision-making positions in the private sector. The statistics in the 2016 to 2017 Commission for Employment Equity annual report paints a bleak picture with regards to transformation at the level of the public sector. While people occupy 68% of the positions at top management level and 58% at senior management levels, women continue to be underrepresented at 22% and 33% at top and senior management positions, respectively. What is of great concern is that one also notices that women are struggling to enter the labor market, even at lower levels, due to lack of skills. As a result, they are forced to turn to the informal sector to make ends meet. Government has taken a decision that we should go beyond lamenting to enforcing equality within the workplace. The Department of Labor has been directed to enforce the provisions of the Employment Equity Act more vigorously so that the much needed radical socio-economic transformation can be realized. Compatriot, while a lot of progress is being made in making South Africa a better place for women, the country faces a serious problem of violence and abuse directed towards women and girls. The country has witnessed horrific incidents recently of the killing of women by men known to them, such as intimate partners and also total strangers. Several children have also been attacked and killed. These incidents have caused enormous pain and distress in the country. The crimes against women take many forms: physical, sexual, economic, psychological, and emotional. And they all represent a violation of human rights and dignity. The crimes include sexual offenses, human trafficking, domestic violence, and the criminal victimization of elderly women who are accused of witchcraft. The police indicate that the biggest problem with the policing of these crimes is that they usually happen behind closed doors and in secluded areas where it is very difficult to police. Another challenge is that victims have been known to withdraw cases in domestic violence and sexual offenses where the offender is known to the victim. In these cases, families may intervene and reach an agreement among themselves to maintain a conspiracy of silence in exchange for money or some other financial benefits. This conduct is unacceptable as it further perpetuates violence against women and turns such crimes into a matter that can be resolved through cash transactions benefiting families. It is not good. We need to prosecute those who abused women. They must not buy their way of remaining out of prison by giving money. They must not. In other cases, the survivors prefer to keep quiet rather than speak out due to the stigma attached to sexual abuse. Other families have to confront the tragedy of human trafficking, which is a painful and despicable crime that is tantamount to modern-day slavery. Young women and girls communicate that they are promised jobs or visits abroad and end up being forced into prostitution in hijacked buildings or brothels, locally or in foreign countries. We urge parents to take a keen interest on the activities of their children on social media and provide ongoing advice and support so that they can be protected. Most are enticed to join the trafficking rings via social media. Government is playing its part in fighting these crimes against women. South Africa must be safe for women and children. In every corner of our country, the South African Police Service has been directed to treat crimes against women and children as an apex crimes, the priority crimes. There are currently more than 1,000 designated victim empowerment rooms at police stations for purposes of enabling statements of the survivors of sexual offenses, domestic violence, trafficking, and other traumatized individuals to be taken in private. When there are no designated victim-friendly rooms, alternative arrangements must be made for the taking of the statement in privacy. There are specialized investigators called the Family Violence, Child Protection, and Sexual Offenses investigative units who investigate sexual offenses, some family-related crimes, and all child abuse crimes. In addition, the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations, or the Hawks, investigate all cases of human trafficking and organized crime. As a result of dedicated investigations, a total of 541 life sentences were achieved during the past financial year. We wish to emphasize that nobody is above the law when it comes to crimes against women. All persons, regardless of position in society, must face the full might of the law when they attack women and children. We call for continued partnerships between government and civil society in promoting a society where women feel safe at all times. Partnerships with traditional leaders, traditional healers, religious communities, schools, and media houses will have a valuable impact in encouraging positive values which respect the rights of women. Last year in the Limpopo province, I launched a program of national dialogue on violence against women and children to mark the beginning of 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children. These dialogues will be taking place in all districts of the Northern Cape with effect from next week to promote safer communities. This is consistent with our commitment made in August 2016, which was to ensure that the whole country is in constant conversation on issues that affect us all. Ladies and gentlemen, 20,000 women marched for a better life and a life of dignity and justice for women in 1956. Work continues to ensure that women have access to economic opportunities, basic services, as well as safety and security in every community. Work continues to ensure that every village has water, sanitation, electricity, good schools, clinics, land for farming, and food production. Government stands ready to work with women to ensure that the dividend of freedom and democracy can be enjoyed by women in the country, especially the poor and the working class. We would like to appreciate this day, which keeps on reminding us where we come from, reminding us of very brave women who were able to take forward the struggle even if they lost their lives. Many thereafter participated in the struggle. Some of them joined the armed struggle and became soldiers of liberation. Many of them went to prison throughout the history of our struggle. This is a day today to remember them and salute them and tell their painful story of our struggle. It is a time for us to remember that this freedom did not come easily. Many of women and other South Africans sacrificed their lives, and it needed people who were clear about what type of freedom do we want. We today, we should be clear as to what type of freedom we are having. Is it enough? I think it is important to know that we have a full political freedom. We can vote, we can do everything. But political freedom alone, without economic freedom, is not enough. These are matters that women must talk about when they meet, when they think about where the struggle of women comes from. It is us, this generation, that must work hard to complete the meaning of freedom and the understanding of it. On behalf of government, I wish all women in our country a productive and fruitful National Women's Day. Happy Women's Day. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Baie dankie, meneer president. Yeah, here's DJ Pemza. Thank you very much, President, for the message. The message was clear today.
Ikamala makhosi gazema libongwe, ikamala makhosi gazema malibongwe, 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 ikamala makhosi gazema libongwe, ikamala makhosi gazema malibongwe, 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 ikamala makhosi gazema malibongwe, ikamala makhosi gazema malibongwe, 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 igama lamakhosikazi ma libongwe igama lamakhosikazi ma amandla wathinta abafazi wathinta imbokodo zakufa wathinta abafazi wathinta imbokodo zokufa wathinta abafazi wathinta imbokodo za uyeyisa 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 uyeyisa. Thank you.
I nearly said ENCO. Image, just a bit, comrade. We're coming now. Sisazo, we are still going to sing. Let's once more give a round of applause to the President with the message he gave today.
President Jacob Zuma definitely there highlighting the importance of government to make sure that there is service delivery also in the communities that are dominated by women, to ensure that women are safe in their society and within the areas that are in. I don't know, Reginald, apart from him speaking about the importance of making sure that we stop women abuse, and as well as we make sure that women feel that they're safe in South Africa, that they're home in South Africa, and that we do away with femicide. What is it maybe that you took away specifically from today's celebrations and the President's speech?
Well, I think the most important part of today, and that is what most people came out here to listen what President Jacob Zuma has to say about violence against women. I remember he said that nobody is above the law when it comes to violence, especially against women. He also tackled on the economic issues, saying that government is prioritizing the economic issues for women, but the government is still facing many of challenges when it comes to labor market, in the labor market for women, because they don't have the necessary skills. He said he hailed women who fought in 1956, who actually marched through the union buildings. So he said many needs to be done for women to actually take it forward. And I also remember that he also tackled the judicial side of it. We can remember that a female was appointed as the president of the Supreme Court of Appeal, President Mandisa, if I have it correctly. But I think the message was clear, and that is what many people actually wanted to hear. President Jacob Zuma tackling violence against women, economic issues, and also leadership, why women are not actually in the forefront of taking leadership in the country.
Thank you very much, Reginald. Well, in celebration of the women that we already know that were part of the struggle then, and also in celebration of the women whose names are actually not recorded in history, from us inside, me and Reginald, we're going to link now to Neria outside, but it's bye for now.
Of course, we did hear today President Jacob Zuma and the Minister Bathabile Dlamini, and of course we did also see Minister Nathi Mthethwa here. Basically what everything had happened today was that all ministers were urging government to further do more to make sure that women do fit in and women are recognized in society. We also heard, of course, President Jacob Zuma just speaking about some of their issues that they have done so far. President Jacob Zuma speaking about their promises to women, and the president did also further mention that government will be prioritizing more than anything crime against women. That will be their priority. They will not be tolerating letting any abuser that is out of jail. And of course, this comes after we know that Deputy Minister Tutuzi Manana was accused of basically abusing a woman. So the president's words there did come out strongly condemning acts of abuse against women and children. But of course, we also spoke to the crowd around here who were here to listen to the president. Most of them were excited to hear the president talking mostly about the positions that women are occupying right now. They were also talking about how they do believe that the public sector has changed for women and has been more welcoming to women. But of course, as everybody would still say that as much as government has done their bid, they still need to do more for women.